Hi. Maddie Smith.
Sandy, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. It was so great talking to Bobby the other day at the G-Day game.
Yeah, it looked like it was fun.
Yeah, it was
Jealous
fun.
that I couldn't go.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this meeting because Bobby was telling me you guys are looking to implement a new CRM system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that I can definitely help you out with that and give you some good ideas. And
Awesome.
some
I'm excited to hear them.
Yeah, so first let me give you my business card.
Okay.
Feel free to call me at absolutely any time.
Cool.
Yeah.
I definitely will.
I want to clarify, we do have a meeting for 20 minutes, correct?
Yes, 20 minutes is perfect today.
Awesome. Okay. And is there anyone else that needs to be here today?
Nope, just us today. We might have a meeting with some of our branch managers later, but just me today.
Perfect. Okay. And do you mind if I take some notes?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I have a couple questions for you. But first, I want to give a little bit of agenda. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So look in here. We are going to learn about what your company is looking for in a CRM system that we can, tailor this meeting towards you.
Right.
And then I want to talk some about your biggest issues with your current system, what's wrong with it, how we can improve.
Right.
Evaluate whether or not Salesforce might be able to remedy some of those issues, how we can help you, and then potentially move forward in an agreement that both parties can benefit from.
Cool. Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. So first off, what is it that your company is looking for in a CRM system? It sounded like Bobby was looking for an all-inclusive Salesforce management system that allows them to better forecast and record sales with each branch, as well as improve the management of your sales territories. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, it seems like covers most of our biggest issues.
Okay, and then how soon are you looking to implement this system?
We're thinking sometime within the next 30 to 60 days, so sometime in June or July.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. We can do that. So your current system. Let's talk about the current system of forecasting, tracking, recording sales, all that you have right now. How does Bobby currently manage sales from each of the teams?
So our sales managers report to Bobby like the quarterly reports, and then Bobby will reflect on those, make any adjustments to the forecasts we have for the next quarters. So he's kind of digesting all of that after the fact.
Okay, so it's all reports after the fact. Okay, interesting. So it's not at all real time, but if he needed to see the data from a sales report in between terms, could Bobby do that?
Yeah, if he wanted to extract any specific data that he is wondering about, he could contact a brand manager and find specific details. But like you said, nothing really real time. It's something that he'd have to inquire about, and someone would report to him.
Okay, so a little bit of time to take out of his day to do this recording. Okay, got it. So as for compiling, is there any way for him to compile sales data from one branch with all the forecasts and reports under one manager?
No, that kind of falls on Bobby to do at the end of the quarter. So if he wants to kind of compile data from that one branch or across other branches, that's something that he's going to kind of do after the fact to analyze and, make sense of all of that data together.
So it sounds like it's a little bit extra work for Bobby to get that much analysis.
Yeah, it falls on him to to do all that.
Okay, so a little bit about your future goals then. One thing I've been thinking about in terms of Duluth Operating Group's potential future goals is the maintenance of growth you've seen so far. You're at that 3.5%, which is huge and so exciting. Congratulations. Yeah. Is it fair to say you'd like to continue to increase revenue like you have the past year?
Yeah, of course. We definitely want to increase revenue. From what we've looked at, we think that our goal for next year is going to be about 4%. So trying to increase that goal, increase that growth again. So yeah, we're looking at 4%.
All right, 4%. Let's see if we can do that. As for real-time sales, do you think that Bobby's inability to see these real-time sales reports impacts his ability to manage branches during the quarter?
Yeah, I think there's kind of a disconnect between what's happening during the quarter and then what Bobby sees after the quarter. So, that disconnect kind of prevents us from making changes soon enough to have an impact on the quarter's sales.
Okay. So do you think that if Bobby could have a more hands-on involvement with the sales data as it occurs, he could maybe manage the team more immediately?
Yeah, I think if he could have more influence of the branch during the quarter, then we might be able to, kind of give corrections and guidance that impact the sales for the quarter. Yeah, I definitely think it could lead to better results.
More insight, more benefits.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as for the analysis, if Bobby was spending less time, compiling this data from previous quarters and, analyzing forecasts and spent more time managing the branch's progress during the quarter, do you think that could impact DOG's growth?
Yeah, I think that if we could increase sales from, Bobby's guidance that he's giving based on real-time information, then we could probably increase our revenue, which would definitely help us reach our goals of growth, yeah.
Great. So a little recap, we would like to see Bobby allocating his time more effectively for his skills, set and streamline the sales forecasting and reporting process.
Yeah.
Hopefully that would help accomplish the goal of continued growth, reach that 4%.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so a little bit more, we're going to, next question, managing territories.
Okay.
As DOG continues to grow, it's important to manage growth effectively so it doesn't plateau.
Mm-hmm.
With this growth, there's implications. Let's see, like resource allocation.
Right.
And also, do you feel like you get much feedback from your current CRM system about how well you're allocating your salespeople to your territories? And if so, what form of feedback are you getting?
Not really. Right now, the biggest indicator we have of, how well our salespeople are doing in each territory is just their level of sales. So
Okay.
our sales are pretty much the only indicator we have of, how well we're matching our salespeople to our territories. Yeah.
Okay, and that sales level is pretty basic number. It's
Mm-hmm.
not much analysis.
No.
Okay. Is there any mechanism in place that allows you to evaluate your salespeople's strengths and weaknesses?
Our sales managers will kind of report on their salespeople's success throughout the term or throughout the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But again, our biggest indicator is just going to be the level of sales that each salesperson is achieving. But we don't have a way to kind of dive deeper into why one salesperson is doing better than the other, or
Mm-hmm.
what area they're succeeding in and maybe
Yeah.
not succeeding in.
So you can see how well they're doing, you're not really sure why, and then
Right.
also comparing to the other salespeople,
Right.
why is this person doing better?
Yeah.
So there's not much analysis of your team's strengths or weaknesses
Correct.
with the current system.
Yeah.
A little bit onto communication. I talked to a person from your Duluth branch to try to get an inside perspective.
Yeah.
He mentioned he feels like there might be a disconnect when there is an issue that he needs outside input on.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate a little bit further on that for me?
Yeah, I think he might be talking about how much time it takes to get everybody up to speed on whatever the situation is. Sometimes it's kind of difficult for upper management to jump into a situation and have the same information that our salespeople do based on specific clients. So yeah, I think it does take us a little bit of time to get up to speed on whatever the issue is, and that can kind of lead to some inefficiency.
Yeah, so a little bit of disconnect leads to a little bit of lag time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so a little bit about your client information. In what ways do you think that DOG could benefit from more accessible client information?
If we had more accessible client information, well, the client, of course, is the most important part to our company. Being in a service-based industry means that our customer relationships are what distinguish us from other service providers. So maybe if we all had the same client information accessible, we'd be able to kind of maintain those relationships a little bit better. I definitely think that's something that would benefit, maintaining those relationships as we grow.
Yeah, I think, the client being the most important thing. I totally agree with that. But your external relationships, as huge as those are, I think a strong internal relationship is almost what makes those external relationships even stronger. So would access to that information potentially facilitate collaboration between upper management and the branches?
Yeah, I think it could save upper management some time getting caught up on whatever the particular situation is. If they spent less time trying to understand, the outside aspect of the situation and more time giving their valuable input as managers, it could definitely facilitate some collaboration and be a little bit more efficient. More efficient.
Okay, so a little bit more of a recap. Having a single access point of client information will allow you to maintain those important client relationships. Additionally, having more effective modes of communication would allow a little bit more communication and collaboration.
Yeah.
All right. So I would like to do a little bit of a demonstration of Salesforce with you just so you can get your hands on, see what really we offer and how it would work with you.
I'd love to see it.
But first, let me make sure I got a little bit of recap going on.
Okay.
We're looking for an all-inclusive CRM system that allows you to forecast and report sales clearly. Additionally, you're looking for a way to manage your territories in real time to facilitate a flow of communication from upper management to the branches. Sound right?
Yeah, sounds all right.
All right, let's get this open then. Okay, so let me pull this up for you. So one specific item we talked about was Bobby's inability to track sales in real time. So up here in the app launcher, as you can see, you've got all the sales content to track those sales. You have access to sales trends. You've got access to leads, what your team has done today, as well as your top deals. All this information is compiled together, so it's so easy to see, progress and also where you want to go. Do you think having this access to information would positively impact Bobby's ability to manage?
Yeah, I think it would definitely save him some time reporting and collecting data. Potentially giving more real-time guidance to his team would be great. And I kind of think it's a better representation of the team's current progress if we can see what part or what step in the sales process that they're in. That would be really helpful.
Definitely, you saving that time analyzing, and it's more time coaching and improving that internal aspect that we talked about. So another issue we talked about was the ability to gauge a salesperson's strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back over here to the app launcher, you can see the individual salespeople statistics.
Yeah.
And so with that, you can see not only how well they're doing or who needs improvement, but you can see where they're doing really well, whether it's customer relationships, closing, or, finding the leads. So you can see all those. And so potentially that could give you a lot more opportunities to creating teams and whatnot. But do you think that being able to assign the right skill set to those territories could help more effectively allocate your resources?
Yeah, I think that would be really important for kind of maintaining our levels of growth, but also kind of understanding areas for improvement, seeing where our salespeople really thrive and seeing where they may need a little bit more work. But then also, kind of understanding who to put with who based on complementary skill sets would be really helpful.
Definitely, I agree. So finally, I know giving management access to the same client information was a concern. So over here, we've got a way to do some cross-departmental communication with the Salesforce chatter. And so this is an area where teams can be collaborative. It's available on mobile, so you get the constant updates, like real-time notifications, and it's available with inside and outside sales. So everyone has that ability to communicate, nationwide even. So if someone's doing a sale over here in Duluth and the person in Jacksonville has like some information they need, they can give you that information real-time and give them updates, which is huge. So another thing we have is the single point of customer information. So over here you can search by any of your clients, and when you search that client, their purchase orders will come up, their trends, etc. All of that information on that client is right there on the same exact page, so you can see it all at the same time. Yeah, and so one thing, do you think that this could potentially facilitate interdepartmental communication?
Yeah, I think that the Salesforce chatter is a great opportunity for our branches to collaborate and maybe kind of share information on things that have worked better for them. I think the client search would be really helpful in saving up our management's time, getting up to speed on certain situations. That'd be great. And definitely just kind of allowing more collaboration, sharing ideas interdepartmentally.
Definitely. One thing I also want to point out is that this is super easy to integrate. Like, we will come to your company, we'll fit it to you guys so that it's nothing awkward or there's no weird transition period. We'll make sure that it fits you guys. We don't want you guys to fit us, we want to fit you.
Great.
So now that you've seen what we can do, let's take a look at some of the benefits.
Okay.
So, could you give an estimate to the increase in growth you could realize if the issues we talked about today weren't in the picture? If Bobby could spend more time managing branches during the quarter and upper management had more access to client information and thus were more involved in the sales process.
Oh gosh. Well, originally we wanted to reach for 4% increase in our growth. But I think if our biggest issues weren't there, we could at the very minimum achieve 4.5%.
4.5.
Yeah, I think that's very achievable with what I've seen.
Okay, so that 4.5% times the $48.6 million you guys had in revenue would give you $50.78 million in revenue. And so that is right there an increase in $2.18 million.
Yeah.
So which is great.
Yeah.
So moving on to then the cost, it's an $18,000 setup fee initially, and that will include the training that we spoke about.
Okay.
From there, it's also $85 per person or per user per month, and you've got 126 employees.
Right.
So that would be about $10,710.
Gotcha. So
in total, for 1 year using Salesforce, it would be $146,520.
Cool.
Now, comparing that to your $2.18 million in revenue, that will give you an ROI of almost 2,000%.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Some things to think about there, but right off the bat, after I've given my whole, spiel, do you have any questions?
No, not that I can think of. I think you pretty much covered everything. I would love the opportunity to kind of talk with our branch managers, and see what they think. But I would love to set up a follow-up and maybe kind of see what happens next.
Yeah, that sounds great. Does next Friday same time work for you?
Yeah, next Friday is great.
All right, perfect. I'll put it on my calendar and I'll hear from you then.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Maddie.
It was great speaking with you. Thanks so much.